topic is actually a little bit different. It's owning the AI conversation, a technology roadmap through the Recruiting Continuum. I am actually filling in for our CEO, Christine, who had a little bit of an emergency, so I've had 48 hours to get this together for y'all. But today we're really gonna take a step back, right? Everybody's talking about AI all the time, which is great because it's so relevant to everything we're doing. But I want us to kind of rewind for a second. I want us to think about our AI readiness. So it's a rat race, right? We're trying to get the best technology in place. We want to automate, we want to make things easier, but we have to make sure we're ready. So I'm going to jump into my slides, but I do have a couple of questions and a little story for you first that I think will make this really relevant. Show of hands, who has gotten an AI automated text message or email in the last few months about a job that's completely irrelevant to what you do? Me too. Do I have any East Coasters in the room? Hey. So, okay, I live at the Jersey Shore, and it's that time of year, y'all, where we get inundated. Our population escalates dramatically. There are 3 big positions that are seasonal, that are hired for at a very high rate. Bartenders and servers, janitorial and cleaners, rideshare and delivery services. So if you know anything about me, which a lot of you don't, but I'm going to tell you anyway, I hate cleaning. I'm really bad at it. Ask my husband and my children, they'll tell you it raises my agitation level really high. I could not find my way out of a paper bag with GPS and a flashlight. I am the biggest klutz. I actually spilled water on my dress right before I walked up here. I couldn't serve my family from the kitchen to the dining room table without spilling something. It's absolutely irrelevant the positions that I'm getting these text messages for, that you're getting these text messages for, am I right? Yeah, it sucks. And that is why it's so important to be ready to implement AI in the right phases of your recruitment process. If you do it wrong, you risk losing business, losing your job seekers, and your consumers. As a consumer, are you more likely to buy from someone who's marketing to you and the marketing is a mismatch? No, right? I'm not gonna stay at a hotel that probably reached out to me for cleaning services or a server position because they don't know me well enough. May deter me. So I just wanted to kind of make this more relatable to all of you before we really jump into today's conversation. So there are a bunch of really big questions we're being asked all the time in talent acquisition. Where does AI fit into our process, and where will it backfire? How do we measure the ROI on the tools we're already paying for? Can we scale without adding more people? And the big one, what's our risk if we get this wrong? So it's a little risky because we don't want to deter our job seekers and our consumers. So most of these questions we don't have a solid answer for at this very moment, but I think everybody in this room is working really hard to get there. Some of us may have some of these answers, but as quickly as we come up with the solve or some of these answers, the technology is changing behind us just as quickly. It makes it a little bit tougher to say, yes, I have these answers. So let's talk about AI in the forefront, because it really does a lot for us. It accelerates the problems that are already living in our recruiting cycle. Things like bias, compliance exposure. Bad data in means bad decisions coming out. Over automation, a lot of us have talked about this today, right? Over automating, taking the human out of what we're doing. Wasted investment, tools that are sitting there collecting dust that we're spending money on every day. And candidate trust. Our top talent will opt out if we're not transparent about AI. So let's talk about AI and how we're layering AI into our processes. Our first layer is our data layer, how we're collecting and organizing what's coming into us. These are things like parsing your resumes, using market comp data, sourcing analytics, your candidate history. This is where a lot of us are starting. We're seeing this already in a lot of the processes that we have in place now. The second layer is your decision layer. This is where we're analyzing and making recommendations. So our candidate sourcing, our interviewing, our offer optimization, flagging out risk. I think risk is a really hot topic for all of us right now, because who's seeing fake candidates like we are? This portion is growing really quickly for us, so it's important that we stay focused. And then our third layer is your action layer, your execution, your automation, your AI agents that we're all really starting to use, right? I think the AI agents are the biggest piece that we're really starting to feed into our different processes. This is your automated outreach we were just talking about. Your interview scheduling, your offer generation, and even your onboarding process, which I know is a hot topic, right? Because we don't want to completely remove the human out of it, but if our AI can generate a quick offer letter for us, is it worth it to use them? So these are where your current tools are really sitting and where you're heading, right? Starting with your data and ending with your actions. This is the recruiting continuum. So if we were to lay the cycle of recruiting flat from start to finish, this is really a big part of the science behind people science. So how are you defining your roles, attracting your talent, sourcing those folks that aren't your organic appliers, engaging your candidates, gathering your data, assessing, making your offers, and moving your folks through onboarding. AI is touching every single portion of the 8 stages of recruiting, but it does not mean you have to automate or add AI to every one of these layers until you're ready. Process first, so understand each part of your recruiting process, then layer AI at the stage where it adds the most measurable value. AI amplifies what's already there, whether it's good or bad. So I really want to stress the fact that you absolutely have to know your process inside and out before you make a decision on where you're going to put your AI. So let's talk about where it's working in the continuum. So through those 8 layers of your recruiting process, where is it really working? Your attract segment. Some of the gaps that we've seen prior to AI is post and pray, right? We all know that our recruiters and our sourcers do a lot of that. No ad performance tracking, not really understanding where our ads are working and where they're not. And then that wasted budget, our low ROI. So what we are doing now, what we are seeing now, where AI is filling in that gap for us, is really analyzing and understanding our best ROI channels, the auto distribution of our jobs to the right places, and then real-time engagement tracking. We look at that agent layer, so that last piece that we were referring to, the more emerging piece, the one we're all maybe getting a little bit more comfortable with at this point, is automating or autonomously testing and optimizing our ad spend, and then auto-adjusting that spend. There are some AI tools that will say that it's not working here, we're gonna move it here, and look at what that outcome is for us. Under the gather section, really, that manual resume screening is a big gap. A lot of us have put in an AI screening agent, myself included. Bias introduced in early filtering. As much as we want to believe that we've worked around some of this bias, it still lives there. And then inconsistent criteria from recruiter to recruiter. I create a key elements guide for every single position my recruiters are working on, but they still deviate. So where is AI picking up some of these holes? We're parsing our resumes and ranking our candidates by fit. We are making sure that we are consistent in that first screen. Our agents are coming in and they're doing a lot of blind screening for us at scale. They're collecting only on the signals that are important. I don't need to know if my candidate lives in an apartment. I don't need to know what college they went to, I just need to know if they're qualified. Removing some of those pieces that are irrelevant are important. And then the last piece here is the assess piece. So we see that gut feeling decision come in a lot here. Scheduling delays, where we lose our top candidates. Interview noise, where things are scattered or missing, we're just not getting what we need in the interview process. So where we're seeing some of these gaps being filled in now is that auto send for grading and assessments, calendar syncing for interviews, and capturing and recording meeting notes. Be careful with this one because it can get you in trouble sometimes. Make sure you're turning it on when you want it and off when you don't. We've seen it happen. And then where are our agents emerging in this process? Scoring candidates against structured criteria, the criteria that matters, not the criteria we feel like matters. And then auto-scheduling reminders, right? So yes, our AI now is doing some scheduling, but those auto reminders, not just to us as the talent acquisition team, but your hiring managers. If you start here, you can look at what's working and then move and expand into the right places. So what is your AI readiness score? Before you can decide which AI tool to use or whether your team is ready, you need to know where your process actually stands. What is your process maturity? What is your data integrity? Is your team capable? I actually, we've challenged some of our team members and said, these are the AI tools we want you to use. Simple ones, like Claude and Chat. I had 2 team leaders resign because they said, I'm not gonna do that. That worked out in my favor. I never like to see anybody go. But if you can't utilize AI, it's really hard to be in our space right now. Tech stack fit. Are your current tools positioned to take on the AI you're looking at? Because if they're not, you need to look at something else. And then your compliance readiness. The laws around AI are changing as fast as AI is changing. You have to be sure you're ready. So where does your team land? Here are your AI readiness levels. 1 is not ready. Your process is not defined, your data is not reliable enough, you are not ready for AI because it's only going to amplify the problems you have right now. Level 2, you've got some process documented, but you need some structure before you really start to push the AI into your different phases of recruiting. Level 3 is AI assisted. You got a couple pieces of AI dripping in, but you're not ready to fully automate or to touch all 8 categories. And then last but certainly not least is AI enabled across the continuum, those 8 layers that I was referencing earlier, and your measurements are in place because we all have someone that we have to justify our spend to. If you can't justify the spend, it's going to be really hard to get it next year. So if we implement AI in the right order, the goal isn't to avoid using the AI, it's to sequence it in correctly. So understand your process before you bring in your technology. Know your AI readiness score. If you need help, I'm happy to talk about this with you. Start narrow, move wider from there. Take one piece, work on that piece. Understand your process. Understand where it's broken, fix where it's broken, then start to implement. Audit for bias before launch. Test your tools against diverse candidate pools. If you have some great suppliers, they'll help you with this, but you need to test it. And then keep humans at the forefront of your critical decisions. AI is great, automation is great, don't over-automate. When you get this right, the impact is measurable, not theoretical. We see faster hiring, better quality of hire, a better candidate experience, we reduce our recruiter workload, lower our cost per hire, and measure our tech ROI. I'm running out of time, so I'm going to do this quickly. Over the next few days, what you need to do to understand your readiness score. Name your biggest process gap. Pull your data. Audit your tech stack. Pick one stage to fix first. And talk to your team. Your team matters. The more you talk to them, the more it cements in how important this is. Give them confidence that they'll be around for a while and we're not trying to replace them. The question isn't whether recruiting will change, it's whether you can change fast enough to stay relevant. That was it for me. Thanks, everybody.
A quick round of applause for Lindsay. That was great. And within the last 2 days, go ahead now. 40